mercy. It's your primitive is why I need number. It's your primitive is why I need number. If you got a big, let me search it. To find out how hard I gotta work, yeah. It's your primitive is why I need number. It's your primitive is why I need number. If you a fly, yeah.
Good morning and welcome to Sun Up on 7. My name is Renata Samuels.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Kevin Mendes. Welcome to your Monday episode of Sun Up on 7. You know, that song for a minute had me like,
What do you mean to think about?
right, I mean, just the lyrics, you know, and the song, and I'm like, okay, I cannot do those moves.
Like, you know what's funny? Like, I don't look up the lyrics for that because I don't know why this session is your baby again, yeah. Like, I feel like I'm a cost by accident if I try so.
It's a classic, so I know the lyrics, and I am like,
So what is she saying then?
oh, we're not gonna go there.
What is that one word? You're yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know. Translate.
No.
Okay. See,
But it's Monday, guys. What a good way to start the week, you know. A little ruffling your feathers, nevertheless. We're excited for everything we have planned for you today. It's Monday. Unfortunately, Jules is not joining us today for the Monday morning beef. He says there's no beef.
There's no beef. There's nothing
peace
to
in the
cook.
world today.
Oh my goodness, it's beauty. We're coming together as a community. We're doing the right things. There's nothing to rail up about. Imagine that, guys. So we're waiting patiently, you know. I'm kind of happy that we don't have anything to rail about in a good way because that means, we're doing something right. People are cooperating and we're not to the point where we have to,
Well, we kind of have to. I mean, we're gonna talk that in couch talk.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course, the representatives from the Medical Association, they have sent out quite an ultimatum to the Ministry of Health saying you have 7 days for you to do certain things or else we're gonna be taking necessary actions. We're gonna talk about that in couch talk, but we also have dynamic segments prepared for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Today.
We've been talking about this whole UDP family and what's going on with them. We actually have one of the members, is it cousin Ian, coming in from, he is the standard bearer for Colette, and he's going to be talking about, what he's vying for, what is the whole life like right now for him, what's his dreams, aspiration, what's the energy taking place. So for people that have questions, that are wondering, that have never seen him before maybe, or whatever it is, you're going to be able to have all that time to get that download information and learn about that representative. So, Stay tuned.
And also, Cellular World joins us today to give us their amazing deals for the upcoming Garifuna Settlement Day celebration. So they have very good discounts. They're going to be here to give us everything that's in store. So something, if you're wondering if you have that extra cash and might want to purchase an item from them, it's a conversation you do not want to miss. So with that,
we go to the couch.
Let's go to the couch.
Is your first.
I've come to find
out to everybody on Sun Up.
Isn't what we were told. So where do I seek the answer that's worth looking for today?
In the seat, everyone, and he's here to talk to us about Sun Up on 7, the show that we're on right now. So Jules, tell me, this is one of your
And we're going to be talking about the hot shift that has been happening over the weekend.
Writing appears on the wall.
Discovered.
You and I were the first ones to see. The world that we see may seem that it'll never change. They say, but if you tear down the walls that's blinding us all, you'll see.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Monday episode of Sun Up on 7. It is the 14th of November, one day closer to payday. I hope that everybody's looking forward to that date, but also I hope that you're looking forward to everything we have prepared for you today. Let's get started by having a look at the weather, courtesy of the Belize Med Service.
Good morning. A few showers affected the south last night and will likely continue this morning. Otherwise, mainly fair weather is expected today as relatively dry conditions set in over our area. The 24-hour forecast is for sunny skies with cloudy spells today and partly cloudy skies tonight. Showers will be isolated, except for a few more over the south this morning. Winds over the open sea will be from the east to northeast at 5 to 15 knots, and the seas will be slight. Maximum temperatures today will be around 85 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 90 inland, but only 80 degrees up in the mountains. The outlook for Tuesday is for partly cloudy skies with generally isolated showers. Then a few showers affect mainly the coast Tuesday night. There's a low tide at 8:43 this morning, a high at 2:52 this afternoon, another low at 7:12 this evening, and another high at 1:32 tonight. The sun rose at 5:57 this morning and will set at 5:16 this evening. The moon sets at 11:13 this morning and comes up again at 10:31 tonight. In the tropical weather outlook for the North Atlantic, the Caribbean Sea and the Gulf of Mexico, tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 48 hours. With that, we end this report from the Belize Weather Bureau.
And that is our weather.
That's our weather update. What a good way to start the week.
It is, it is.
How are you feeling today?
I am feeling, as Biggs just messaged me and said, fresh and bright because I'm a little jerky and tired this weekend.
I may think you feel broke up.
I feel broke up, but I look fresh and bright. The power of makeup.
And a good shower.
A good shower.
And a good outfit.
And a good outfit,
Yes, all
and
of
like
those
a lean
things
night
work.
rest and everything. I feel like, man, my body feels broken. People, I don't know if anybody here through the screens, because I'm going to say here, but anybody that are through the screens have ever been to Dolores or any of those places like Santa Ana, Sundaywood, or all of them, going deep, deep into PEG. Like, picture this, you go down south, then you have to go down west, like 2.5 hours. We went there. And like one of these days, we actually did talk about roads and stuff, and I will show the pictures there because Miss D and Biggs them to take pictures of it. It's awful. Like, I feel like you get bumped all over the place. Like, I wish I'm going to exaggerate. Like, you have to go on the road and experience it, Kev. I really would want you to go on that road.
Yeah,
and
I would.
experience it. Yeah, no, because the thing is,
Get an exposure, right?
we're not exposed to those circumstances because we're, we are worried about our pothole, but this are nothing compared to Ali potholes here. When I tell you, like, the road just go down in, like, we're in a van and you the bump, everybody the bump. Like, there's no one that's not bumping. It's
Right.
crazy and, whew,
Yeah. And
2.5 hours.
And as you
back.
mentioned, right, people have to, like, travel that every day for 5 hours, which is a round trip
That's
time.
a round trip, yeah.
In such conditions, it's horrible. It's
That's why I
horrible.
think it's so important
Yeah.
to travel. Like, Brandon talks about it so much. If you don't know your country, like, you really don't know what's out there to advocate, to talk about things, to really say, you know what? Although we have great conditions here or decent conditions here, there are a lot of people that don't have these things. And so I really encourage people, if somebody tell them, I could go take a trip somewhere far and unknown in your country, go for it. You never know. It starts a great conversation. It exposes your perspectives and really makes you start to think about things in a different light. So, Dolores for you, but how are you feeling, Kat?
Kind of broke up as well. It was just a weekend of like meeting deadlines, but also having fun. I took a trip to Corozal, even though it was like a working / just getting away kind of trip. It worked, like for the most part. I appreciate that we still have public transportation and it's kind of affordable. That it's just like 45 minutes to an hour from Orange Walk to Corozal, so you can just take that quick getaway.
Yeah.
But I also went dancing over the weekend, and that was like a lot of fun.
I love how you do the balance of I will work, but I also will like work.
Yeah. Like it was just like one of those days where like it felt needed. Like going to the sea felt like I needed to do this, and going to dance, like I was the only one dancing, and I am like I came here to dance, and I came here to sit down. So I really had a good time. But yeah, so I'm feeling good. It's good to be back
You look
today.
fresh, man. You
Thank
look fresh
you.
and bright too as
Yes.
well. And because you know the wear makeup.
I was about to say that. Right. So let's get started with our couch talk.
Yes, guys. If
Yes.
you're not ready to get Ali fiery, because I'm very much fiery with this first topic that we were talking about. This is what actually Kevin introduced when we were talking about, one of the things that are heated going on when you talk about ultimatums, you have 7 days, and that means we did this Friday, right? They did
Yes.
this Friday that just went. And so this Friday that's coming here, the 18th is the deadline to see, how the government will respond moving forward. But if they're going to put it up on the screen, guys, can you put it so they can actually see the words and understand? The Belize Coalition of Medical Professionals did this press release, I told you Friday, talking about how, they have had enough. They need a meeting. They were talking about how, they remain committed to do no harm and so forth, but they laid out why they're pushing to have a meeting. If you remember we had talked about how they've been trying to push off a meeting from September. It's been put off, and the same circumstances are getting worse and worse, or how people say in Korea, worse,
yes.
and worse, all over again. But I mean, the circumstances of not having equipment, they're talking here, extreme shortage. Yes, please put it right there so they go see the 1, 2, and 3. Extreme shortage. And you know when they're putting the kind of adjectives in front, you know what I mean, of medical supplies, pharmaceuticals, and human resource throughout the country, not just the KHMH, throughout the country. Can you please understand these words, guys? Pension status and exemption of income tax from severance of KHMH employees and salary review for all healthcare workers. Remember when they talk about how they're not getting their OT and they're working incredible hours. We're talking about all of these things and what's going on, and the reduction of income tax for all healthcare workers. So these are 3 of the big topics that they want to talk about. Kev, you could be able to expand more on it. I was just giving a little synopsis of, their upsetness, if you want to call it, of not being able to be heard, not even getting that platform to really come to the table and hear what I have to say. Like, we did suffer for long enough. You were in November, Kev.
Yeah.
And from September, we did ask you for a meeting and it just get put off. Like, if I was in their place, I know I feel like a priority.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about this? So they're calling the meeting, and this is the Coalition of Medical Professionals. They're calling the meeting with representatives from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, the Financial Secretary, and other entities that are related to like healthcare. And they're saying you have until 7 days to address these things.
Yeah.
And one more thing that they want to address is defying higher education and experience in a related field as a prerequisite for the appointment to the post of the Minister of Health. So they're saying not just anybody can come and be appointed as the Minister of Health. They need to be somebody that's qualified within the health spectrum to be able to have this position. What's interesting is saying that if within 7 days we do not have this meeting where we address these things, they're going to be taking necessary action to send a message loud and clear. So I'm really thinking, what is this message? What is this action gonna be like? Of course, we've seen that they have called press conferences and did not discontinue their service as healthcare professionals. However, I am not sure, what's going to be the magnitude that's going to happen in 7 days if this meeting does not get held. That's going to be an interesting development of the story. So we hope that folks stay tuned. Of course, we're going to be following up with it during the week and trying to see how this comes to resolve, because it's something very, very critical. We're talking about our healthcare, which is like a very, very important pillar of our country.
And the first point is it's so serious, because when you think about not having not just the pharmaceuticals, not just having the medical supplies, you're not having human resource, and we've talked about this. Many times you go to these hospitals and there's legit one poor nurse who have to deal with 5, 6 different people. They scramble and they get one chance to sit down and breathe. And not because you have other people that need to be served and they're getting impatient, which, you understand, because they're dealing with whatever health condition, or they're there for their child, or they're there for somebody that's dealing with a health condition and they want to get served. But there's only so much people. Then they don't have the equipment. And I remember when they were talking about how you take about 30 minutes or so to find supplies, if you could find supplies to deal with patients, spending it, and you to think about all the time. Like, this is a frustration beyond compare. Like, I know when you go to your job every single day for the most part, when you have your supplies, it go fast.
Yeah.
Easy, you could sit down, you could cooperate, you could do, the efficiency process that just happens. But imagine you don't have internet, or your internet moves super slow, or you don't have printing, or you don't have your really basic stuff if you're in an office. And like, how frustrating it is. Like, man, I want to finish this document, I want to print off, I want to do whatever, and I can't. Think about it, but on a larger scale, where you're dealing with humans that are impatient, that are sick, and you're thinking, I want to help them, but how can I? So I can't even imagine the place that they're in, and this will go on for months upon months upon months. And that in itself, like, to work in those conditions, when you sign this oath for do no harm, for help people, and you're not able in your capacity because of the circumstances to do so.
Right. It's really interesting being in this place as the Bristol administration celebrated their 2-year anniversary, in which they claimed that they were able to enhance the healthcare service. It's gonna be interesting. I mean, Jones is not here for the beef, but Flight to Trinidad, shush, that shisha beef right there.
That shit, the way you shoot.
Let's
I know
move
what
on
you
to
do.
our
Shit,
shish. So let's move on to our next couch talk item.
Yes.
And this, so on Friday there were 10 Haitian passengers flying in from El Salvador through Tropic Air that were detained at the Philip Golson International Airport, and then now these leaves the airlines in a certain space of uncertainty, given the fact that it's reported that there's quite a few Haitians and also folks from the Indian community that are traveling into Belize. If we focus particularly on the Haitian passengers, they meet all requirements to come into the country. You know, Belize, Haitians do not require a visa to enter Belize. So they're very well, you know, meeting everything in place to be here. Nevertheless, on Friday, there was a senior airport authority that was traveling with them on the flight. And based on conversations that she heard on the plane, they decided that it was necessary for the passengers to be further investigated. So upon arrival at the Philip Golson International Airport, they were taken to the Ladyville Police Station for further investigation. It is uncertain what's going to be the outcome of the search, if they're going to be sent back to Haiti. So it's a story that continues to develop as well.
It's super interesting just to think, you know, everything checks out legally for why, you know, they can
Right.
be able to travel, you know, but I'm wondering, like, you know, there's the Lee Crofina, me, the one that, what did the conversation
Right.
with his immigration officer here, so I say, you know, something, only if you get investigated, because this is the problem. Sometimes as people, we just talk, you know, and we talk loud in a different areas and so on. We don't know that people, they listen to we. So that's why I say, I wonder what the conversation could have been that allowed, you know, that officer to say, you know, we need to park this right now real quick because we need to see what happened. Because even if stuff are done legally, there is a route that you can go illegal at some point, you know. So maybe we don't know what's
Yeah.
happening. And will this cause now interference or discourage people from traveling here? And what's going to be happening when it comes to our like little things can happen from certain instances like this, you know. So we'll see what comes from it. We'll see.
Definitely. Is vie for the presidential run in the U.S. This really comes at a point where we know Donald Trump. He's quite a character, but also like we've seen how the state elections have gone in the U.S., where there's quite some Republicans who are Trump supporters, who Trump supported as well, that have won the seats. So how critics are going is saying either Donald Trump jumps on the train now and gains his popularity and shows who is the boss,
Yeah.
or he might risk not winning his presidential election in 2024. So Donald Trump, again, tomorrow he's going to be announcing his presidential run. It's going to be interesting to see how the story develops. We know what Donald Trump stands for. We see how a lot of like the
Definitely
Republicans
know.
are going for. So for me, it really puts me in a very hard place as we talk about human rights. You know, my human rights lens really like goes like haywire whenever I think about Donald Trump and all the violations that are ongoing. So it's gonna be quite a run tomorrow. So
You know-
stay tuned and see what Donald Trump has to say.
We're definitely gonna see, you know, what happens there. This with politics, and whether it be Belize or in the U.S. or so, things can go anywhere. You know, like that's the beauty of it. It's so elastic. Like it can happen. He can get all of the vying for him, the love, and so for people that you know think that we need him. We need this type of person. We need this radical person that doesn't care, that's gonna stand up for certain things and so forth, that they stand up for, forgetting and omitting the other things that he actually brings to the table too as well.
Right.
So you never know, you know, how people are going to like sway for what.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be something that we have to follow and study because it's really up in the
Yeah,
air right now.
that's
Many
for
people can
sure.
see.
That's for sure. I mean, we are like no country's an island. I mean,
Yeah.
even if you're an island itself, I mean, everybody like international relations affect everything. So if
Exactly.
whatever happens in the U.S. in terms of politics, it's going to heavily influence what happens in Belize. We saw when Donald Trump was elected president, he went about cutting ties, for instance, with the World Health Organization. And then everybody's like, so what do we do now, right? When the U.S. is like one of the biggest contributors with regard to funding to the WHO, and now they pull out, they're like, wow. So like, we have to be moving like these other things and try to find other relations. We're seeing the world in a state of like on the verge of World War III with like Russia, with
Right.
China, with Taiwan. And if Trump was to come in presidency, it's like, where will this go? So how Donald Trump goes within his possible run for the U.S. presidency. Yeah.
We're gonna see.
We're
you
gonna
know,
see,
stay tuned, guys, for the next drama of what is this world bringing to us.
Yes, yes.
Because I legit know how it's set up right now. And on a positive light, because hey, we want to bring positive news to you all people. We have some great news to talk about how St. John's and St. Catherine's win at their volleyball tournament. I think St. Catherine's has been winning for the past 12 years, if I'm not mistaken. So big up to my school, my high school, my alma mater. You know, they won, and as well St. John's won. And so you wanna give a shout out to them because not only are they working extremely hard for it, you have to think about all the circumstances and conditions that these young people have to go to actually make time to be disciplined and to go out and practice. And it's not easy, you know, doing what they're doing. So big up to all of them, and you know, also big up to other schools too as well, because it's great to get to this point. And so this is SJC, big them up.
Yeah.
They are one for their, I think it's secondary high school
Secondaries,
volleyball.
yeah.
Yes, and then we also have SCA right here, St. Catherine's Academy, that won. I think it's 12 years now going.
13.
13.
13th
This is the 30. Okay, so yes, I kind of just never added in this year.
Yeah, they won 12 years before.
Thanks, Kev. You know, I never
Makes
go shabby. I never go shabby. So
Imagine, I mean, the fact that you're claiming this title for 13 consecutive years is like, huh.
you didn't put in work.
Yes, yes,
You
you're
didn't
definitely
put
doing
in
something.
work.
Yeah.
But like I said, and volleyball isn't people because it's not maybe a contact sport as compared to basketball or so people
I
don't.
was gonna say rugby.
Yeah. Rugby, that different story, Papa. Different story. But you know, people might say, oh, you know, there's so much skill, there's so much strategy that goes into volleyball. So I'm really proud of these ladies for, you know, keeping that title for the past 12, now 13 years. And big up to these boys that are doing their thing too as well. You know, big up to all the schools that are participating and making sure, you know, we still keep sports alive and still keep that hope alive of getting active and getting out there and doing our stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
Congrats to both schools on their win. So with that, we come to the end of our couch talk.
We've come to the end.
It was juicy. It was quick. It was a quick flip of whatever we're preparing here.
You know what was funny, right? I had to read through the comments because I just to try and get through, and somebody was talking about how they've been on that road, and the 6 years ago is way worse than now, and I'm afraid to know what I'm in 6 years because I may feel like I was going through it when I was on that road, so I never even want to know what that 6 years ago. But you know, that kind of shows you, and if you have a positive silver lining look and stuff, 6 years ago, it was worse than what it is right now. So thinking maybe what can happen in the next 6 years?
Hopefully they will have a
Hopefully
better
some
road.
kind of change. You know, we baby steps, and let's see, you know, where our priorities are. Because right now we are dealing with this huge, you know, damage and loss when it comes to Hurricane Lisa. And I know somebody was saying how, you know, the healthcare professionals are being selfish when we're dealing with Lisa and so forth. But guys, let's remember something. They're dealing with health. They're never selfish for demanding us to
Right.
stand up for our health
That's
and
true, that's
get
true.
the supplies we need, the human resource we need, get everything that we need to make sure people are healthy. Because how you are assess any damages, how you are go forward if you're not got health. Like, you know, you 2 and 2, not to make 4, you know, that kind of way if you're not doing that. So definitely have to make sure we keep the health conversations alive. And it's regardless of what administration is doing it, both of them have really much failed us when it comes to, you know, how we're operating with our health, because a lot of things could have been done when it was the UDP administration, and we're seeing here that the PUP administration are being no better than what the UDP have done.
Yeah.
So both of them are one and the same. No one better at this present moment, honestly. So that's what I have to say about it. And we have a sunrise, and I fight for this sunrise. I better see this sunrise. Thank you, Denver.
Ooh, wow.
Yes, and this is big. See, we took this at PG early in the morning.
This is a postcard material.
Right?
sunrise, for
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. The Biggs, you know, show you sunrise. So I got sir son. I don't like Biggs no one. So with this show,
It's absolutely gorgeous. Yes.
Right.
It's postcard worthy.
I think PG has some of the best sunrises. No lie, like, wow, that's the scenery. It's so beautiful.
So beautiful.
So beautiful.
I haven't been to PG in years.
You need to go, Kev.
need
I
to
tell
go.
you, like, that it's just a wondrous place. Like, they need so much more development. They need more funding for stuff, but they make with what they have. And that's why I think it's so incredible. They're resilient people. Belize in general, resilient people. I love it for us.
Shout out to all the folks watching us in PG. Good morning, you know. Good morning, and all the best. I gotta visit someday.
Yes, you do. But with that, guys, we're gonna give you this beautiful sunrise courtesy of Biggs Belize and from PG. Enjoy these rays into your screens, into your life, just into your morning. I hope it starts off with a fresh brightness that you need because it's Monday and we need to kickstart. Tomorrow is payday and we have to think about how our mindset's gonna be towards that. But let's get that Monday groove going. And with that, we're gonna get a commercial going. When we're back, we're gonna be talking to Ian Jones, UDP's standard bearer for Colette. And let's see exactly that conversation, what are the plans, and everything that you want to ask, put it in the comment section. Let's get to it, and let's see how we can go from here. Stay tuned.
It's a true story, but me got a story that I need to tell. Boy, I needed some cloth and some material for sew me curtain. I needed some help. Boy, I was up and down all over the tongue and up and down and searching around and up and down all over the tongue and up and down and searching around. Then I come to Mikado, I couldn't get in. In a Mikado, the people rushing. In a Mikado, I fight for getting, and when I get in, I couldn't believe it. All Mikado got it all, the best in the fabrics. All Mikado got it all with better prices. Boy.
We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society.
The first constitution of Belize was handed to then Premier Right Honorable George Price on the occasion of the nation's birth in 1981.
It is my very great privilege to hand to you these constitutional instruments, the symbol of your independence.
Since then, governments have come and gone, with changes made to the Constitution in 2000 and in 2008.
Today, in 2022, we ask ourselves, have we done enough to eliminate economic and social disparity? To promote gender equality? Are our laws relevant and fair? Is justice accessible by all without fear or favor? Are we fairly represented at all levels?
Are our rights being protected? Are our beliefs and differences respected? Our cultural values and diversity celebrated? Are we free to live and love, to learn and grow?
Let your voices be heard. The People's Constitution Commission is made up of organizations and entities from every sector in Belize. It is comprehensive and inclusive because any and all changes to the Constitution of Belize must be comprehensive and inclusive.
We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society. The Commission will be holding consultations countrywide. Come out and join the discussion. Let your voices be heard.
Our government, our Constitution. Let's Belizeanize it. The time is now. We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society.
The first Constitution of Belize was handed to then Premier Right Honorable George Price on the occasion of the nation's birth in 1981.
It is my very great privilege to hand to you these constitutional instruments, the symbol of your independence.
Since then, governments have come and gone, with changes made to the Constitution in 2000 and in 2008.
Today, in 2022, we ask ourselves, have we done enough to eliminate economic and social disparity? To promote gender equality? Are our laws relevant and fair? Is justice accessible by all without fear or favor? Are we fairly represented at all levels?
Are our rights being protected? Are our beliefs and differences respected? Our cultural values and diversity celebrated? Are we free to live and love, to learn and grow?
Let your voices be heard. The People's Constitution Commission is made up of organizations and entities from every sector in Belize. It is comprehensive and inclusive because any and all changes to the Constitution of Belize must be comprehensive and inclusive.
We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society. The Commission will be holding consultations countrywide. Come out and join the discussion. Let your voices be heard.
Our government, our Constitution. Let's Belizeanize it. The time is now.
I must be dreaming.
Oh no, honey bun, you're not. Everything you hear so far, that's true. Delta Store has a new look. Delta Store is at the same location, right down Albert Street. Delta Store has a wide variety of fabric. Delta Store offers quality and savings. Everything in a Delta Store is only $4.99 or less. Snap out of that dream and head on down to Delta Store today.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your Monday episode of Sun Up on 7. It's time for our first conversation, and our guest this morning is UDP Standard Bearer for Colette, Ian Jones. We're going to be getting the opportunity to know Ian Jones better. What are his vision as regards to being the candidate for Colette, and his overall concept of democracy and governance in Belize. Good morning, Ian. How are you feeling today? It's Monday. What is your energy like?
Good morning. Like
Good
you said,
morning.
it's Monday. I don't think anybody has much energy on a Monday morning.
You have to
I'm
start
good,
with
though.
the juice, though. You have to start with like
True,
exuberance
true.
and all that thing there.
See, that's why we brought you early in the morning. We're like,
Yeah.
Ian's going to set the vibe for the Monday.
Well, I had a very active weekend, so
Okay.
yeah, I got a little rest last night and got up early to try to beat that traffic to get here. So,
Okay. And it's good to see you that, you made it through Hurricane Lisa.
oh
know?
man, that was
I wanted
rough.
to ask you in that regard, what have you been up to in Colette as it regards to Hurricane Lisa? Belize City was
Well,
one of the most affected areas, so we want to know what have you been
The
up to?
day after Hurricane Lisa, the party leader and myself did tours around the city at the different shelters, and we did a tour in in Collet along with the SEMO team and also along with the area representative, Honorable Patrick Farber. So all of us walked through Collet to see what were the affected areas, how people were affected, and what we could have done to help them. Of course, you know, the government of Belize did facilitate the area representatives with hurricane relief funding. So I know the people of Collet were grateful for that. But like I said on one of my social media posts, it could never be enough, and everybody could never be reached by just the area rep. So I was also on the ground trying to see how I could help the people that he was unable to reach. So, and it wasn't a matter of red or blue or independent or voter. I mean, a lot of people who met weren't even registered in Collet, but it is a matter of humanity. I mean, when you saw what people had to endure after the Hurricane Lisa, I mean, it was depressing and it was devastating. Yes.
Yeah, but it's good to hear that, you know, like you hit the ground and you were able to connect with your residents and see how they got affected, and of course, how can they get some sort of relief, because at this point, that's what everybody's looking forward to, you know, some sort of hope, some sort of help to get back on their feet, because there was a lot of folks who were affected.
It's hard right now. I think, you know, coming off COVID, we've talked about it, and then now Hurricane Lisa. So now more than ever is the time when you have to go in guns blazing, helping and seeing exactly, you know, what can I assist you with, and this is when the community can come together and really see who you are too as well, and you know what you have to offer.
Well, the community does know me. I mean, that it's not like I'm a stranger in Collet. I mean, there's not one person I met who did not know who I was. You know, even if they did not know me by my name, they knew who my mother was. They knew my face. You know, my mother has been the long-standing chairperson for Collet as well. So I was known, but something that also came to my attention more so than ever is that I saw the conditions that our people are living in, and a lot of the damages from Hurricane Lisa could have been avoided if the housing conditions were better, if just the everyday livelihood of people were better, they would have been better prepared for the hurricane. And as an aspiring leader, because I don't like to call myself a politician, I don't want to call myself a politician. You guys can call me a politician, but what I'm really aiming at is being a leader within my community, continue to be a leader within my community. And as an aspiring leader, I have to look at ways how we could fix that type of situation, because it's not impossible to do. It's not rocket science, you know. It's things that if we really put a proper plan in place rather than just doing things ad hocly or you know, reacting to situations. And yesterday, actually last night, my team and I sat down starting to put our plan of action together, what we want to see in Collet. And one of the things that we identified is that we have to do a proper community assessment. We have to see what are the type of structures, the type of buildings within the community, what are the playgrounds, the churches, the schools, you know, so we could have a idea of what it is that exists and what it is that needs to be done. So that is the first step and the first approach that we're taking. And my goal is not, this will not be a Ian Jones political campaign for me to get elected in Collet. Of course, that is the end goal, because I could properly represent the people if elected. But the real true mission of me and my executive and the people of Collet is to see how we can develop Collet. How we can make, when you visit Collet, you feel like you're visiting Kings Park or Buttonwood Bay, you know?
Yeah.
To change that mindset of how people perceive Collet. A couple months ago, and this was probably what made me decide that I needed to really step up. A couple months ago, a very close childhood friend of mine grew up in the neighborhood. He was shot and killed in my mother's yard, 2 feet away from my mother.
Wow.
You know, he had stopped to, as a lot of people do, to get something to eat from her, and he sat there and somebody walked in and shot him. In the 25 plus years we've had that family home, despite the criminal activities in the area, nothing like that has ever happened, you know? So then we realized, you know, this is an indication that we need to try to help and alleviate this type of problem within our community. A couple days after that, or weeks after that, I heard the commissioner on news saying that he's tired of the Antelope Street area with everything that was happening. He said that most of the murders that have happened were either surrounding that area or allegedly suspected of people in that area. So there were three rival factions in that area. And I took it on myself because these are people I grew up with. These are my brothers, you know. I grew up with them. It's not like I'm a stranger on the outside just commenting. And I went into the belly of the beast. I went and I spoke to each of the groups and I told them, listen, this is my plan. This is what I want to do, but I need you guys to help. This cannot be that, you know, bodies are dropping, innocent people are getting hurt.
Yep.
And, you know, they listened, and surprisingly, at my convention on Saturday, I did not invite them. I did not invite anybody, actually, because we were trying to keep it as small as possible, because I believe that trying to show power or strength at that time would be a slap in people's face who are suffering right now as a result of Lisa. So, to my surprise, and it was something noteworthy that members from all three rival groups were in the same building at the same time to come and show that support. You know, and there was no animosity between them. And that was a good sign that we can have this change, and it's possible if we have the right leader behind it. So
No, I definitely hear you. Ian, first I want to say you know, sorry and my condolences for that experience that you had to go through. You know, it's your friend that you said for 25 years. And of course, it's something when it hits home, especially like physically, like hits home as well.
Oh, well,
So
growing up
that's-
in Colette, it has hit
Yeah.
home a lot in terms of, I mean, a lot of the people I grew up with are dead. Like, you know, I mean, I think I witnessed my first murder at the age of 14, 15. One of my friends, you know, it was my brother's birthday. We were hanging out at our home, and he went to the shop to buy, and he never returned. Like, we watched him get shot right there, you know, and
I can't even imagine, you know, like
you know, so
what
it-
goes through in that moment.
it's something that I realized that, like I said on Saturday to the people who were at my endorsement, we've lived through the nightmare, but that does not mean our children and our grandchildren have to live through it.
Definitely.
So the change that we do today will be beneficial to them.
Right.
You know, it won't be that the change will be beneficial to us. We have to think about the future and the future of Colette and the future of our children and grandchildren who will grow up in Colette.
Right. I mean, the saying by saying, you know, like the right time to plant the tree was yesterday, but
Yes.
you know, you can still do something about it today to make a change.
I have an even better quote than that when it comes to tree. Somebody is resting in the shade of a tree today that somebody thought about planting
Wow,
a long time
that's
ago.
even better.
So,
That's even better.
you know, and that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and by also by saying this is the fact that if you reflect on what you mentioned, you know, the housing situation of folks in Colette, I mean, that's like a cumulative thing that has happened through the years. When we
Yes.
talk about gang violence, that has been accumulation of what has happened during the years. So how do you use your experience of, you know, losing like your brothers, like your close friends to gang violence by seeing what happened with Hurricane Lisa? How does that now change? As you mentioned, you're doing a strategic plan, your action plan. What are some things that you find that you're putting out there based on from your experience?
Well, like I said, we're still in the planning stages, but I said this again also on Saturday. I said that 25 years ago, I had to exit my house or my family house on London bridges, you know, and when I walked after Hurricane Lisa and I saw that there were still so many London bridges in Colette, I was amazed. I'm thinking, well, you know, at this point in time, we should still not be, we shouldn't still be living like that. You know, talking to people, they said, you know, we just want the street. If we get the street, we will do on our own. And that is something in Colette that I've noted over the years. Colette was not, and I don't want to take away from any government or minister, but Colette really and truly, at least the extension of Colette, was not developed by the government. I mean, I grew up in it, so I know that people around there are hardworking.
Yeah.
They will build their own, they
It
will
was the
sell their
resiliency
land.
of the people, right? They
Yes,
want
it's
to
very
have a
resilient.
space to
So-
live, and they're going to be like, we're going to
and
put,
that's
even
it.
if it's just a
That's
shot
it. And
there.
So something else that I spoke to people about, I said that I don't want it to be that whenever you see me, it's for a $50 or $100 or a handout. That's not what I'm going to be about.
Got it.
I'm going to be about how we can develop the community together. A major part of the plan that we started putting together last night was to develop our own like sanitation department within the community, taking young men right from the neighborhood, employing them to keep the community clean, to cut the drains, to clean the street, you know, things like that. Because having having that living dignified. Like, you know, you don't have to be dirty, the place don't have to look messy. And also have that same team be able to help people with their repairs on their houses and simple things that you may otherwise not be able to have the immediate resources to deal with. You know, we'd be able to try to give that support. And that is a major part of what we plan to do.
That definitely impacts, the well-being and the state and how people would see things. I like to hear that you're saying we're going to do a needs assessment of the community, and I feel like that's a very good baseline for you to go ahead moving forward.
Indeed.
But reflecting on that, reflecting on the past administration, as you were growing up, what are some of the lessons learned from the past representative that has impacted the state of Colette where it is now that you want to do something different?
Well, I honestly want to stay away from speaking about any other person and what they did or didn't do in Colette. I will be more focused or putting my energy on what we plan to do now and how we plan to achieve it. So, like I said, I grew up in Colette, so I've experienced everything that was good and bad about Colette. And in terms of doing this assessment, because it won't be just from my perspective, our committee that we've put together, we have a lifetime educator, we have a social scientist, we have an engineer, we have an IT specialist, we have an architect, we have a pastor, so I didn't just go and pick people because, well, I think you'll support me. Honestly, to be honest with you, one of the persons last time supported the PUP candidate. And I said, you know what, you are a staple in this community, I need your help. This is our plan, this is what we want to do. And that person was more than willing to come on board and be a part of what we want to do because, like I said to my team last night, this won't be just to win an election for the UDP. Yes, that is our ultimate political goal, but Colette comprises of more than just UDPs. We only have 3,700 registered voters within the constituency, but we have about 6,500 to 8,000 people living within the constituency. So there are UDPs, PUPs, people who aren't registered, independents. So we have to cater to everybody's needs. It can't be just, oh, if you won't vote for me, I won't do for you. The plan is to do for the community, for everybody. And hopefully, if people see that and see that approach, they'll say, you know what? This is the person that we want to lead us. This is the person that, we have a vision, we have a mission, and we'll execute it to the best of our abilities.
All right. I mean, and it sounds like you're very strategic about selecting who's going to be working with you during your campaign. So in that regard, what can folks expect from you now leading into the convention and, of course, the upcoming elections?
Well, I really don't know what to say because normally at this point a politician will say, well, you'll see more of me, you'll see me on the ground. I've always been on the ground.
Okay.
They've always been seeing me. I'm always accessible, My phone number has not changed for the past 10 years, I mean, and I'm somebody who I answer my calls, I answer my phones, I don't ignore people. If I can't do or help you, I'll be straight up and I'll say, at this point, I'm not in the position to do it. I will not hide or shy away from people.
Okay.
And another thing that, like I said to my committee, I said, yes, I'm going to be the head of this committee, but Colette will not only be led by me, it'll be by all of us. I want you to feel as empowered as I want to be in terms of what we want to do in Colette. If it is that somebody reach out to you, don't say, oh, well, I couldn't reach Ian or where I see where Ian would do. No, you be empowered as well to be able to answer their questions, to be able to do what is necessary for the community. It won't be a one-man show per se. I mean, yes, I'll, if elected, be the person going to the House of Representative meetings and representing the people there, but in terms of the community leadership, it could never be a one-man show for such a big community.
And so as we're looking at just the idea of getting the community on board, making sure that, people are heard, we're doing assessment and all these things. On November 11, the constituency executive committee had sent in a letter saying to the chairperson that they were not in support or endorsement of you. And how do you feel now pushing forward from that tension? Is there less tension now? And what is your response now seeing, the lack of support in that arena?
To be honest with you, it was never a tension for me because these are my people, these are my family. I mean, at the end of the day, I would have been disappointed in them for not signing such a letter, being that they were the executive members hand-selected by the current era representative. You know, I would have been disappointed in them for not showing him that support that he believed he needed. But I met with one of them, it was Sunday morning, and I said to her, I said, listen, I will not put you in a compromising position. I will not ask you to publicly show support for me, but at the end of the day, you are like a mother to me. You know, I will never disrespect you and say, well, you know, look what you did. I am not happy with what you did. No, I said, I want you to come on board when you feel comfortable enough to come on board, because we can't do this without you. You are a part of this community, and you're a staple within the community, and we need all hands on deck if we want to see better for the community. And that is the approach I will take. I will not have any personal dislike with anybody because they signed that letter. These are people I grew up with and people I respect, you know. And like I said, I would have been disappointed in them if they had chosen not to do so. But at the end of the day, they were an executive on the way out in terms of what the party had decided from August, in terms of the election. And this was actually the first time, for as long as I can remember, that I know that the constituency executives are being elected. They're not only being appointed, you know. You have to go through a process of being elected. So if you, for example, Renata, want to be an executive member within a constituency, you have to convince other people from the community to support and vote you, you know. So I honestly would have wanted some of those persons on my executive, but because of the way things turned out, it did not happen that way. But that does not mean now that I will excommunicate them and say, well, you can't be a part of this. I'm welcoming them to be a part of it, you know. I need them to be a part of it. So it wasn't here or there for me, really and truly, in terms of having any personal, like, you know, hard feelings against them.
How do you go about navigating that, Ian? The fact that, I mean, some folks can say you have a big shoes to fill, right? I mean, there was somebody that was, you know, like running this area for a long time, and now there comes you, and of course you said you're a grown person of color. You've lived and grown there, so it's like, how do you go about navigating, I guess, proving to people who you are, why they should vote for you, and the fact that you're there to make a change?
Well, I must say, first and foremost, a big part of all the successes of any UDP representative in Colette has been my mother. You know, I am lucky that she's my mother, you know, so getting that support from her
a game changer
was automatic. It's a game changer for me, but not for Colette, because more people know her than they know me. More people know her than they've known any of the other era representatives or aspirant representatives in Colette. You know, there's no way she can go in Colette and she's not easily identified. So having her on board and supporting me 100% is a major, major plus, you know. So it's just a matter of us now continuing. And this is something about my family in Colette. We've never stopped working in Colette. I mean, we're known for doing what needs to be done despite any politics, you know. I remember when I started my tour company at the age of 17, we, rather than hiring people from outside of Colette, we hired people right from around us, you know. And my family is made up of business people and entrepreneurs, all of us, most of us. And we hire people from within the community. So we're always in touch with the community. And so it's not anything new that we have to invent. It's just now we have to continue what we've been doing and put a little more emphasis on the political aspirations of it now in terms of getting me elected as the UDP representative in the next election. So
I like that.
So I know you've mentioned already that you don't want to talk about the UDP representative, and that's totally fine. So let me just ask you in this regard. Many people, because of just the situation that took place, have questioned your loyalty. And you know, politics is a loyalty game. How would you now speak to people that wonder, you know, being behind somebody for so many years and then now seeing that that person is not at their strongest and now taking that place in that way, show that you are a loyal person that will stand before?
Well, it's a matter of perception, really and truly. I did not do anything to the previous era rep. I did not have any part in whatever issues he may have had that causes him to no longer be the era representative. I was just the person that decided, you know what, we need a representative. I'm going to stand up. I'm going to take that lead. In terms of my loyalty, anybody who knows me, I mean, there's no question about my loyalty. But in terms of what I did, it shows that it wasn't just about one person. It's about the party, about the community, about the country, and doing what needs to be done. I did not. It's not like I played any part in him not being the representative anymore. As a matter of fact, I did not submit my application, and I did it against my mother's will, really and truly, about half hour before the deadline to submit application, because I kept inquiring. I mean, what's happening? Has his situation been reversed? Did anybody else apply? And if I had not done that, I mean, the party really and truly would have been in a much more difficult situation right now, not having a representative for the UDP in College, you know? So it's not a matter of loyalty really and truly to me. It's a matter of stepping up and having the, you know, the willpower to know that people would be looking at it that way, but knowing that the things that I will do and do in the community along with my executive will show people that, hey, it was never about me, or it was never about the Honorable Patrick Farber. It was about what's best for the community.
And just on that same note, when we were talking about, you know, go and vying and so forth, I know we had made a conversation with you, and you had mentioned that, you know, if he would have decided to take away his Facebook comments and, you know, been able to cooperate, that you would recline and then take away your own, you know, vying. And so we saw that did happen.
Okay.
And so what are your comments towards that, that it did happen?
What I did say, and you could go back and check the videos, what I did say is, if you did all that and the party's position changed and they reversed what they had decided on him, then I would step back. And I would do that for two reasons. One, I would have been following something that I voted and agreed to at a central executive meeting, that any elected area representative who is selected back by the party after saying that they want to run, any elected representative would not be contested. So if all of that had happened and the party had reversed their position, but I am not the one who made that decision within the party. That was done between the nominations committee and whatever other committee did that vetting process. At the end of the day, if the party had reversed and they had said, you know, Mr. Jones, we thank you for applying, but this is now our position, I would have humbly and respectfully said, okay, I'm okay with that, and come next election, I would be on the ground trying to get the UDP standard bearer or representative re-elected. So my position did not change. It's just how things happened.
Yeah. And so, as we're wrapping up now this segment, a lot of people have been looking at the UDP in general right now, seeing all the commotion that's been taking place, the push for recall, but no recall, all kind of craziness. What do you have to say about the party in that stance right now, and how it seems like we're grasping for straws, trying to get it together, and we're supposed to be the opposition, and we're not look like we're the strong opposition right now?
Again, it's a matter of perception, because whereas you or the media and the public has only been hearing one side of the story. It's only been the side opposing the current party leader that you've been hearing. You have not been hearing the party leader making any statements, making any judgments on anybody. Within the party, I would say that we have a majority of us are with the party leader. Of course, and I've said this many times, if everybody likes you, then something is wrong with you. You know, you have to be the type of person that can understand that everybody will not always agree with you. The unfortunate part about it is, right now in the current UDP, is that we now live in an age of social media. Because this same thing happened before with the PUP, it happened before with the UDP, and it's always something that will happen within political parties. But now, because we live in a social media time where anybody can get on their phone and post anything, now everybody is aware of what is happening. But, I mean, progress brings problems, you know, and I am of the firm belief that the opposition has enough footing, enough grounding to be a viable opposition and to continue to be opposition up until the next election, where the intent will to no longer be the opposition, you know. I'm confident with the intentions of the party and the party leader. So, like I said, it's just a matter of perception.
Okay.
Well,
you know, like,
thank you so much. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, like, you know, from the conversation I've gathered that you know, like you're a community person, right? From the fact that the technical people you've elected to work with you are people from the community, you also see like there's assets within your community that can help with its own upliftment. And I feel like that's like a very good way to go. So, and of course, you came to the opportunity when there was somebody that needed to rise up to the position. So reflecting on that, Ian, if you were to give us like a brief, what is your vision as a leader? What is your vision for the community?
And I'm glad you said as a leader, because
you told me to say leader,
indeed,
right? So
indeed.
I'm paying attention.
I'm happy that you say that. My vision, and I said it earlier, is to see a better college for our children and grandchildren. You know, to take the experiences of the nightmares that we live through and to use those experiences to analyze and come up with a comprehensive plan on how to make our community better, so that 5-10 years from now, you and Renata, if you're still in this line of business, can say, you know what? I took a drive through college, and I must say, indeed, it was transformed. It has been changed, you know? And that is really and truly my vision, to see a better community for our children and grandchildren in college.
Perfect. Ian, thank you so much for joining us today. That was really good. You know, we look forward to that change that's going to come, for sure.
And it's going to come.
Yes.
Okay, and with that, we thank you for being here. We look forward to seeing what's going to be happening moving forward. With that, guys, we go to our next commercial break. When we are back, we're going to be talking to Cellular World about what's taking place for Garifuna Settlement Day, discounts, deals, and what you can get your hand on. Stay tuned.
It's a true story, but make out a story that I need to tell. Boy, I needed some cloth and some material to sew me curtain. I needed some help. Boy, I was up and down all over the tongue and up and down and searching around and up and down all over the tongue and up and down and searching around. Then I come to Mikado, I couldn't get in. In a Mikado, the people rushing. In a Mikado, I fight for getting, and when I get in, I couldn't believe it. Boy, Mikado got it, boy. The best in the fabrics, boy. Mikado got it, boy. With better prices, boy.
We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society.
The first constitution of Belize was handed to then Premier Right Honorable George Price on the occasion of the nation's birth in 1981.
It is my very great privilege to hand to you these constitutional instruments, the symbol of your independence.
Since then, governments have come and gone, with changes made to the Constitution in 2000 and in 2008.
Today, in 2022, we ask ourselves, have we done enough to eliminate economic and social disparity? To promote gender equality? Are our laws relevant and fair? Is justice accessible by all without fear or favor? Are we fairly represented at all levels?
Are our rights being protected? Are our beliefs and differences respected? Our cultural values and diversity celebrated? Are we free to live and love, to learn and grow?
Let your voices be heard. The People's Constitution Commission is made up of organizations and entities from every sector in Belize. It is comprehensive and inclusive because any and all changes to the Constitution of Belize must be comprehensive and inclusive.
We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society. The Commission will be holding consultations countrywide. Come out and join the discussion. Let your voices be heard.
Our government, our Constitution. Let's Belizeanize it. The time is now. We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society.
The first Constitution of Belize was handed to then Premier Right Honorable George Price on the occasion of the nation's birth in 1981.
It is my very great privilege to hand to you these constitutional instruments, the symbol of your independence.
Since then, governments have come and gone, with changes made to the Constitution in 2000 and in 2008.
Today, in 2022, we ask ourselves, have we done enough to eliminate economic and social disparity? To promote gender equality? Are our laws relevant and fair? Is justice accessible by all without fear or favor? Are we fairly represented at all levels?
Are our rights being protected? Are our beliefs and differences respected? Our cultural values and diversity celebrated? Are we free to live and love, to learn and grow?
Let your voices be heard. The People's Constitution Commission is made up of organizations and entities from every sector in Belize. It is comprehensive and inclusive because any and all changes to the Constitution of Belize must be comprehensive and inclusive.
We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society. The Commission will be holding consultations countrywide. Come out and join the discussion. Let your voices be heard.
Our government, our Constitution. Let's Belizeanize it. The time is now.
I must be dreaming.
Oh no, honey bun, you're not. Everything you hear so far, that's true. Delta Store has a new look. Delta Store is at the same location, right down Albert Street. Delta Store has a wide variety of fabric. Delta Store offers quality and savings. Everything in a Delta Store for only $4.99 or less. Snap out of that dream and head on down to Delta Store today.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Sun Up on 7. It's time to build some excitement on this Monday episode. And joining us today, we have folks from Cellular World telling us about the 3-day extravaganza that they have as regards to everything Cellular World. And what can you expect, what deals, what phones are going to be out there. It's their biggest sale of the year, so you got to take advantage of that. So giving us all this excitement, all this scoop, we have Miss Avril Ely, Sales and Business Development Manager at Cellular World. Good morning, Miss Avril.
Good morning.
How are you
Good
feeling?
morning.
It's
Good
Monday.
morning,
You're
Louise.
looking fabulous.
Oh, thank
Gorgeous,
you.
darling.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. How is your Monday energy?
Actually fabulous. I woke up.
You woke up like this?
Focus.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just like this. I got sleep last night, just like this.
I love it.
But I got up focused on this morning's show, so I'm
Okay.
good.
Thank you so much for joining us and to bring this excitement for our viewers and for us. Also, Juan Burgos, good
Hi,
morning.
good morning. Morning,
How are you
Louise.
feeling today, sir?
Well, as I walked in, the first sign that I saw is says treat every day like it's Monday. So it's a good Monday to talk about deals. So.
Of
Yes,
course,
it
of course.
is.
See, that's the right attitude. No wonder you're the store manager. You know how to use those words very well.
You know, talk to the people like, you
Yes.
know you want this one, yeah. This one that the one you made a dream about long time. You just never know. You never finish it fully. Right? That kind of
Right.
Yes.
But
Right.
like, you were saying it's Monday, people have a fresh start to the week and they also want to know what's coming to the end of their week too as
End
well.
of the week.
And you have to get that mindset, payday to come to as well. A lot of these things, a lot of factors just to set up real nice.
Set up real nice.
So what we
yes.
both for talk about.
Yes.
And I hear the word extravaganza. And I think big. And then when you
Big.
put three front of extravaganza, I think even bigger.
Bigger.
So
Indeed.
let's get into this juice because I'm sure people are waiting to hear about every single thing you guys have to offer. Because we talk about not just 1 day, not just 2 days, a 3-day
Day
extravaganza. So if you
extravaganza.
miss the first day, you go still get the second day, you go still get the third day, you go get all 3 days if you want because you just love it that much.
Love it that much. So our 3 days extravaganza starts on Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all day Saturday. So COVID took a little damper, right? And then, so last year we did not open.
Okay.
So we're opening this year, so we're hoping it would be big. Belizeans will come out and shop and take advantage. Take advantage. The products that we have, the reduction is across the board.
Oh.
Concentration on phones, obviously, tablets, we've diversified over the years, so there are so many things that you can choose from. Early Christmas shopping, right? The 19th really kicks off, even though it's a big 1-day celebration for Belize, it really kicks off the Christmas season.
It does because
does.
people, as soon as people think about the 19th, right after they don't know, make a try with those stuff, this Mali, this one.
That is true.
Get everything ready because you're getting into the Christmas time. And then
Into.
people start to think about, what do I get? What is affordable? How can I, my child asked for this tablet long time. What do I do? And my phone to go in. I need to treat myself to something nice and whatever. But you're planning ahead because think about it like this. Christmas is coming right here December, but there's a million other things you want to
You
plan
want to
during
do.
Christmas. You got a turkey. You got
Yes.
to come on. So wouldn't it be nice
Get-
as well to
Get
it now?
out, get it out the way so that when the other paydays come, you could really concentrate on the other things that Christmas,
Exactly.
brings about. So we're excited, about this 3-day extravaganza. We're giving people opportunity to come out and shop with us. Those people who are traveling down south, you don't have to miss out. Come in Thursday, come Friday, and you get the best of both worlds, right? You get shopping, you get a little bit of punta, you get Christmas,
Yeah, everything
right? Everything all in one.
Sounds like you are Punta de Cellular World.
And the thing is, remember, you guys have that 1-year warranty too as well
Yes,
on the Samsung
on this-
devices.
exactly. Now that one, we're the official distributor for Samsung in Belize, and we have phones that come in specifically for a region, and with those phones, what we do is to offer that 1-year local warranty. We also have the service center right there on Queen Street. And our service center, you can bring in your phone once it's within the warranty period and it's not customer misuse or abuse. We will be able to repair, replace a specific part and all brand new, authentic Samsung products and Samsung parts.
That's very good for the ears of the customers, knowing about the reliability
Is it safety and
of it.
comfort?
And
Yeah.
comfort, exactly.
Like that.
Want to bring you into the conversation.
Yeah,
Juana.
Yes.
We're talking about
It's first of its-
extravaganza. We're talking about deals. What are some of the prices we're looking at? I'm seeing on the flyer as low as $49, as low as $155. Can you speak to us about what can people
Okay,
expect?
actually, with the sale, we have like a couple stuff in store for people. We currently have a sale that we call a November to Remember, which we're concluding this sale on the 16th of November, and then we jump straight into the 3-day. So right now, if you purchase selected items from us, you could get a lot of free stuff. Like example, if you purchase any Samsung phone, you'd get a free Alcatel wireless earbuds, or you'd get a iRocker wireless headphones. If you would purchase a monitor from us, we have monitors starting as low as $329. We would bundle that, and you could get a special reduced price on Zwami webcams for as low as $35.
Oh, wow.
If you buy any Apple phones from us, you'd get a free JBL speaker. We also have, if you purchase any Alcatel device, tablet, or Amazon Fire 7 tablets, you'd get a free 32 gig flash drive. So we have a lot of freebies that we have available right now. Besides that, we have specially reduced prices that will kick in, will go up to the 16th, and then we start our 3-day extravaganza. All right?
Awesome.
With the extravaganza, we will have phones starting as low as $49.
Wow.
We will have tablets starting as low as $155. We've reduced further our Samsung devices, and the Samsung phones will start as low as $329. We'll have Amazon Fire Sticks starting as low as $109.
Wow.
Right? TVs should be lower than $519.
Yeah.
Right? So we've really reduced all our prices. Our November 19th sale, we've been doing it for some years now, and people really look out for it. They anticipate this actual show that we have. It's actually the biggest sale that we have for the year.
Wow.
Right? So we always try to encourage people.
Right?
I think people get excited, like that they get prepared for Christmas. I want to talk about just the experience of going into a store, right? Because like for people, a lot of times, that's something that they look forward to. Going in and like you have the display and you get to look and you get to see and possibly get to touch and see.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that. So like when somebody, for some reason, they live on Narak and
You're greeted in the store. We welcome you into the store. And we ask you basically, what are you looking for today? Then we show you around the store. And depending on what you want, depending if you want to do a repair or unlocking, or you're looking to purchase a product, we have our displays are set specifically with which section you want to see, depending if you want to purchase a business solution item, or you want to purchase a phone, or you want to go to the tablet section. So we show you around, show you everything that we have available. And then from there, we provide you with the best prices. And then from there, we let you go to the main cashier, and then you could pay for the item that you're actually purchasing. But of course, the process, of course, we try to make it very smooth for the customer.
Yeah.
We listen to what they want, and it's no matter how long it takes, we'll show you every single device that you are interested in.
Yeah.
We have the accessories to match up all these devices. So we'll show you all the cases, or if you need a tempered glass, or if you need any other accompany accessory, we'll show you those as well. Because we have headphones, we have a lot of like bundled stuff that you could use for these actual products.
You put your stuff together.
Yeah, so they have everything. So as you mentioned, you go there, the customer says what are their needs, and you get them.
Pretty
all
much.
of
And sometimes we don't know
Right.
exactly what we want.
What
like
you
we
want.
said,
Exactly.
I want a phone, but I don't know what kind of phone
Especially
I
when you
want,
get to like
right?
the specifics of it, right? It's like
Yeah, like I need my
be
phone
so
for the X, Y, and Z. So
Yeah.
let's go down the phone aisle. Let's
Yes,
see. Let's go see
exactly.
all
what's
that's
also like
there.
very cool now is I see there's a virtual store where
Yes.
people can go and they can check online.
They can check
you share
online.
how the virtual
Somebody,
store works?
somebody is always at the end of that line. If you just want to chat or if you just want to call, you can call and somebody will answer. And usually it's Justin. He's the person who will deal with you from beginning to end. And the same type of customer service you get in store, you would get with Justin. And he's very, very good with people. He's very versed with products, so he will guide you and let you know exactly what you want and what you want to use it for and accessories. And we go right through to shipping out all over Belize.
Wow. So you get
From
that full
PG,
experience on the-
the
in the
full,
day, but
from
in the day.
PG to Corozal, the keys, all in between.
So will the discounts still be applicable if you shop online?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
So
that's nasty.
every all the sales that we have in store, yes, is extended onto the virtual store too. So
Okay.
From Thursday, they could
from
just look right in and
Thursday,
start
they
their
can
whole-
start to shop bright and early Thursday morning. Actually, you could start to shop from 12 o'clock.
I just
I don't know
want
if
to-
Justin will answer the phone, but when he gets up at 6 a.m., poor thing, yes, he could start to just, let's go. So
I think that's super convenient for people that maybe can't physically go into the store, but really want to just jump
Yeah.
Get
and
those
bag
deals,
on that.
yeah.
Yeah, so like, because we're talking about all these different things that you're having.
it's that virtual store. We've had it before. We've had it for some years, but now we've named it, and and it works really well. I mean, people
like the online
all day. They're at their office, they're on their lunch break, and they need something, and they will ask, and and we accommodate them right through.
And I like the fact that you are sending things to us as well.
Yes.
Because
yes. We package
the
and sell.
convenience, the peace of mind, knowing like I just make my whole purchase and I would just wait patiently for I can go pick it up.
Exactly.
That's
Juan, can you share with us? Sorry, what are you gonna say?
And that's the thing, like when people think of cellular world, they think that we mostly carry just phones. But when you walk into the store and you see the variety of stuff that we carry, I think we should introduce a shopping cart soon, because I think people like there's so much stuff that we carry, like in electronics, we carry TVs, we have headphones, we have speakers, we have a big line of business solution items, monitors, keyboards, mouses, routers,
I'm seeing
APC
PlayStations.
backup
Yes.
gaming consoles, accessories. We have like a wide variety of stuff.
So there
So
you
like
go.
that's why when you come into the store, we'd ask you what you need, but you'd walk over with a whole lot of other stuff.
I know another thing is I come for bad phone, I end up with a TV, 2.5. Like,
That's scary. It's scary.
It's true because a part of the selling technique that we use is we use a lot of visuals. So when we sell you like a phone, we'd show you like a trailer via the TV. So you'd actually like come in to see the phone, but you'd see how it shows on the TV.
Right.
Oh.
And some people would actually walk out buying that same TV just because they like how it
the
shows,
They like the phone.
graphics and
They
stuff
like the
like
phone,
that.
but they like the TV better.
I love it. I love
Wow.
it. Right. So Juan, can you tell us where are the different branches of Cellular World located,
Okay, well-
and what are the
Opening
social
hours
media
and the
handles as
social
well,
media handles.
where
Okay,
people can
well,
see
we
what are
have
these deals?
5 locations countrywide. Our main branch is on Queen Street. That's 53 Queen Street. That's across from the Queen Street school. Like you're heading towards the Central Bank.
Right.
Then we have our downtown branch, which is our Albert Street location. That's right next to Brody's.
Right.
Then we have our northern location, which is right next. It's in the Northern Plaza, and it's right next to A&R. Then we have our San Pedro location, which is on Pescador Drive. And we have our Belmopan location, which is on Constitutional Drive.
Constitution.
Right.
Yeah.
And all these
Market
stores
Square.
will all have the extravaganza.
Yes.
All of them will
3
have
days.
punta for you.
Yes.
If you want to get a free something, man, I feel like you get a phone case or something. If you could do a punta contest, man, and could do the best punta to get a something.
For you, just for you, we'll do that. So
No, it
you
can't
make
be
sure
just for me. It
you
has to
make
be for
sure
all the
you
people.
you
I
have
think-
it for
I think
all
it
the
should be
people.
for me because
We're
effort
already
will be
doing
bigger on this end.
we're already doing it rock bottom prices. But for you, if you come and you punta for us, I want to throw something in for you, man.
I want to see this. I want to see this.
I want to see it too. I want to see it too. Definitely know that they can do all the stores, or they can do our virtual stores as well.
store.
If you can't make it out there, because I know there's some people that are hearing this and like, man, and I got no time to actually get there physically, but I really want to get something. All discounts and deals are gonna be same thing on the online store, the virtual store, as well as in store. So you can get you might not get the punta vibe like how you want. Unless they have the background music. Once the background music, the paper and the background music.
They have enough speakers. They have enough speakers.
Besides the virtual store, there's we have other social media outlets. Like you could use our Sell the World page.
Okay.
And we also have our Instagram page as well. So if you can't reach us on WhatsApp, can't reach us on Facebook, you can't reach us on Instagram. And you have all 5 stores to call to, so you have all different ways.
You have options, indeed.
And you can't go wrong there. And remember, there's the consultation where they're walking you through. They have Justin that's going to be there online for you, and then also in person, they're going to have different representatives that are going to tell you exactly, you're looking for this may help you more, this may, work for you better, because that's really important too. I think that enhances your experience, knowing that you have somebody who understands things better than you.
Of course.
Because sometimes you just like, you look pretty, but this pretty thing not do as much as this next one for you. So even that in itself, having that support, somebody that's gonna walk you through and let you understand better, I think that's really secure too as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I want to just mention one thing.
Yes, man.
So World Cup starts on Sunday.
Yes.
And goes for a month. And we have rock bottom prices on TVs right up to December 17th.
Okay.
So this promotion for the World Cup, TVs only, prices come in. Make sure you get your TV early, because these prices will go back up after December 17th, because Christmas sell itself, right?
That's
so.
Oh wow! So as Sunday hit, so
yes, Sunday
11:59.
Right now. Now, World Cup starts on Sunday, but the promotion is on now.
Okay.
Okay.
And it will run right through to December 17th.
Okay, and this is for TVs.
This is for TVs.
Man, we don't have a lot of promotion. Just happen.
Yes.
We got right now the November one.
Yes.
November to
remember.
Yes, and that's up to the 16th. Then we have the extravaganza. And then we still have TVs that happen as well.
Yes. There's lots going on.
That's why I said we have back-to-back events kicking in,
Like you can't miss.
You can't, of course not.
And please remember, guys, I know Kwani mentioned a really, really important topic. People, they're not just phones. They're a wide variety of different appliances that you can be getting. For people in the business community, you can shop and get a full 9 yards here.
Of course.
Kids, you can get your stuff for your kids. There's so much different accessories, your headphones, all this stuff that you can be able to get, guys. So just go online or go in person and be able to see the variety. And I just think phones, because they're much more than that.
Much more.
And the most comforting thing, honestly, is that these items, they come with warranty on them.
Yes.
All right. We have the Samsung with the 1 year, the manufacturing warranty. On our TVs, we have warranty as well. On our laptops, we have warranty.
On our Dell products, because we are a partner for Dell. So all the business community feel comfortable enough to come to us for your computer, your Dell products. We have a wide variety of laptops, desktops, monitors. We carry Acer, Samsung, Dell monitors, wireless keyboards, just about everything. So we've diversified also into that business sector, and we provide all the accessories.
You can't miss, guys. You can't miss. So make sure you go start from today, because in November, to remember, they're on right now. TVs they're on right now, and the extravaganza is going to be on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So make sure you check it out. You do not want to miss out on these amazing deals. Start early so you don't have to plan late, man. That's the way for me to go. I could try to figure it out along the way and pay that tomorrow too. So, hello. But thank you so much for being here.
Problem.
We love having you guys on as always. We love to see your beautiful faces.
Oh, thank you,
Avril Lavigne, Chantel out there, because
doesn't know who Avril
it's an
is.
inside joke, guys. Don't worry about it. But with that, thank you so much, Juan, for coming. We hope
Thank
to
you.
see you again too as well.
you
Okay,
too.
don't broke your son up on 7 Cherry.
Yeah, broke my cherry today.
And so next time we're gonna have you are the aunt for the third time, I think, next time.
Yes,
So you are
yes.
dance,
You are
okay?
dance
We are
next time.
punta together, all right?
I'm fine with that.
All right, yes, guys.
I can't sing so back thanks.
Okay, we are working with darling. We got it.
Excitement.
But we also have a commercial break. We're gonna go to that now. But when we are back, guys, we're gonna be talking to two local authors about research and their new adventure to Jorge Verde that's going to be launched November 12th. Well, it's not launched already. It done launch. So we both talk about we launched.
Yes.
So stay tuned for the exciting conversation. We'll be right back.
It's a true story, but me got a story that I need to tell. Boy, I needed some cloth and some material to sew me curtain. I needed some help. Boy, I was up and down all over the tongue and up and down and searching around and up and down all over the tongue and up and down and searching around. Then I come to Mikado, I couldn't get in. In a Mikado, the people rushing. In a Mikado, I fight for getting, and when I get in, I couldn't believe it. Why? Mikado got it. Why? The best in the fabrics. Why? Mikado got it. Why? With better prices. Why?
We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society.
The first constitution of Belize was handed to then Premier Right Honorable George Price on the occasion of the nation's birth in 1981.
It is my very great privilege to hand to you these constitutional instruments, the symbol of your independence.
Since then, governments have come and gone, with changes made to the Constitution in 2000 and in 2008.
Today, in 2022, we ask ourselves, have we done enough to eliminate economic and social disparity? To promote gender equality? Are our laws relevant and fair? Is justice accessible by all without fear or favor? Are we fairly represented at all levels?
Are our rights being protected? Are our beliefs and differences respected? Our cultural values and diversity celebrated? Are we free to live and love, to learn and grow?
Let your voices be heard. The People's Constitution Commission is made up of organizations and entities from every sector in Belize. It is comprehensive and inclusive because any and all changes to the Constitution of Belize must be comprehensive and inclusive.
We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society. The Commission will be holding consultations countrywide. Come out and join the discussion. Let your voices be heard.
Our government, our Constitution. Let's Belizeanize it. The time is now. We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society.
The first Constitution of Belize was handed to then Premier Right Honorable George Price on the occasion of the nation's birth in 1981.
It is my very great privilege to hand to you these constitutional instruments, the symbol of your independence.
Since then, governments have come and gone, with changes made to the Constitution in 2000 and in 2008.
Today, in 2022, we ask ourselves, have we done enough to eliminate economic and social disparity? To promote gender equality? Are our laws relevant and fair? Is justice accessible by all without fear or favor? Are we fairly represented at all levels?
Are our rights being protected? Are our beliefs and differences respected? Our cultural values and diversity celebrated? Are we free to live and love, to learn and grow?
Let your voices be heard. The People's Constitution Commission is made up of organizations and entities from every sector in Belize. It is comprehensive and inclusive because any and all changes to the Constitution of Belize must be comprehensive and inclusive.
We believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society. The Commission will be holding consultations countrywide. Come out and join the discussion. Let your voices be heard.
Our government, our Constitution. Let's Belizeanize it. The time is now.
I must be dreaming.
Oh no, honey bun, you're not. Everything you hear so far, that's true. Delta Store has a new look. Delta Store is at the same location, right down Albert Street. Delta Store has a wide variety of fabric. Delta Store offers quality and savings. Everything in a Delta Store at only $4.99 or less. Snap out of that dream and head on down to Delta Store today.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to your Monday episode of Sun Up on 7. Thank you so much for tuning in, for sharing this space with us. We totally value your time. So it's time for us to get into an interesting conversation talking about the background that it took to develop the book Hope in Sartaneja, The Adventures of Jorge Verde. So to give us an insight into everything that it took to publish this book, and of course, it was launched November 12th. Tell us all about the excitement of the launch and where you can get yourself a copy. We have authors Delmer Sib and Caroline Verde joining us today via Zoom. Let's do a quick check-in before we get into the conversation. Delmer, good morning. How are you doing this Monday? Okay, your mic is muted. You might.
Your mic is a bit muted, but
There
we're
you go.
seeing you smiling, so that's the indication that it's good.
How are you,
Yes,
Delmer?
it's good.
We missed that check-in. How are you doing? We can hear you now.
Oh, you didn't hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, my apologies. I was saying that I am
Okay.
weak.
Okay. We missed it again.
We missed it again. No.
Let's do one more try.
Let's try it one more time.
Is it work? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Yes,
can hear
now
you.
we can hear you.
Tell us quickly before it goes again.
Okay, something is happening there. I don't know what. But as I was saying, I am very excited. It's Monday. Monday, I consider it to be the best day of the week. It's a start, something fresh. So
I like
very
that
excited to be
mentality.
here.
Nice. That's a very good
I
perspective.
really like
That's a
that
very good
mentality towards it.
Something fresh. Caroline, how are you doing today? Is Caroline there?
Caroline, are you
Hello,
muted too?
everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, good morning.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
It's Carolee. Thank you for having us here at work. I'm good. I'm not going to adopt Delmer's point of view. Yeah, it's a fresh morning. A brand new day to start a week.
Awesome. I love your background.
I know. Oh my goodness, that is
really-
gorgeous.
Yeah, there's has so much going on there. I mean,
In fact, that mural is partly where the story for this book came from. So
okay.
it's like you can notice, you can learn the story that's in this book either by reading the book that we have or by observing this mural.
Beautiful. All right. So with that, let's get into the conversation about Hope in Sartaneja, the adventures of Jorge Verde. So the first thing I want to know who Jorge Verde is and why do we select? Is it your dad, Carolyn? I'm just curious, who Jorge Verde
Indeed.
is and why did you decide to make a story about him and what links him to Sartaneja?
Okay, well, my father has been a storyteller ever since I remember, and he has been passionate about the development of our village, Sartaneja. And so he always wanted to tell his story. He always did. He was willing to tell anybody, anytime, anywhere, but mostly he'd like to tell his story through this mural. He one day brought the artist and said, you know what, I want to tell a story. And he told him the story and he said, come up. And he told him more or less how he wants it to be. And then the story came about in this mural. But he still said, he had school children, teachers, I mean, the community at large that was interested in how come Sartaneja came to be. And he was very passionate. He loved to tell that story. And his worry was, what will happen when I'm not here and people want to know this story?
Right.
He wanted it to be, he's very big on cultural pride and heritage and knowing that we become who we are. We know who we are based on our history and from our roots. And so one day the students from St. John's College, along with Mr. Zib, Mr. Yasser Musa, and the history department, and the history club, they took a trip to Sartaneja and they interviewed my dad. So my dad was very happy to have the students there and he showed them the mural and he spoke about it and he showed everything right on all the story based on the mural. And he said, you know what, we should put this in writing. And Mr. Musa from
Carly, we lost you there for a minute.
Carly, 1 second. We lost you there for a second. The audio just dropped a little bit. So let's quickly.
That's weird also.
Oh, yeah, it's perfect.
Oh.
So the last part we heard you was when you said Mr. Musa. So we didn't hear anything after what you said about Mr. Musa.
Okay. Mr. Musa arrived with the students. Did you hear that one?
Yes.
And so he made a presentation and then Mr. Musa, knowing, well, he's from the Image Factory Publishing, and the history department was interested, this is something that they'd like to document. And I guess they also viewed the essence of what my father wanted, which was to spread the story, to keep the culture, to be able to define who we are based on our history. And that's how it's all started. And there's an amazing team that came together and is how the book came to be.
Wow, I love the fact that this work came together to preserve the history of Sartaneja. I love Sartaneja myself. I try to go there as often. It's a really good getaway. Like the village itself, the people, I mean, you can't go wrong with the view. So it's really good to hear, the preservation work has happened. So if folks were to dive into this book and read, about culture, about the history of Sartaneja, what are some of the key things that they can pick up that you feel is important for us to remember?
From the story or
From the story, yeah, from the book.
okay, in terms of the story, the book is surrounded around the themes of well, community building and community support, community collaboration, giving a sense of, well, you go, well, you just mentioned it, you go into the village and then you start to wonder, you see so much things that are different, peculiar, and you start to wonder, how did this come to be? The story is focused primarily for us to tell the story. The team decided we're going to use the scene of, I think,
Carolyn.
storm going on in the mural. And the storm represents the Hurricane Janet that happened in 1955, and that hurricane devastated, that just wiped away the entire village. So that's the central focus for the story, Hurricane Janet. Why? Because it's like a midpoint of the what was Saten Aha, basically. Where the name Sarteneja came to be from, Saten Aha, right? And so, yeah, and that was the Maya word for give me some water.
Right.
And so the hurricane washed away everything that was the old Satenaha. And we began a new era after that. And it was a good one because it was a rebuild. One where people were able to get back up and rebuild. And so this is what we have now as the village. And the best thing about it is that we can know about it. It's documented now.
Beautiful.
I love that because, that's the way the story lives on. That's the way the history lives on, the culture lives on. Everything about it, people can be able, and I could tell, your father probably just so appreciates it. Because you were saying, having just the students come there, like being able to share that with them is something so beautiful. I want to bring Delmer in on this conversation. What has the experience been like, documenting, researching, finding out to put together to make this book what it is today? And what would you think is one of the big points you think young people, because I always say, young people need to know a lot more about history and understand why these stories are so important for us to pass on. We got to know where we've been, where we're going to go to, and just be able to be enriched because we can share it with other people. So what has the experience been like for you? And then later, why do you think it's important for young people particularly to be able to grab a hold of this book and, go and run with it?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that I've been involved in projects like these for many years. I've worked along with Carlos Quiroz and Ms. Musa, along with Image Factory, to document rural community history. One of the biggest lulls we could say in the historiography of Belize is that you don't find a lot of rural history. And that has been one of our missions in going into different communities, finding community actors, getting their stories, getting community histories, and add those narratives to the grand narrative of Belize. So, in Italy, what this project has been about is taking one micro-narrative, which is the story of Mr. Jorge Verde, to document the history of Sarteneja. From that perspective, take a look at the development, changes, and also the future of Sarteneja. Yeah. And I want to zero in on one aspect of what Mr. Verde's story is all about. The story is about Hurricane Janet, which hit Belize in the 1950s. It actually almost cleared out Corozal town. It was a very damaging hurricane. And coincidentally, we just went through a hurricane as well.
Yes.
And it is a story where Mr. Verde, he was a trader, of course, a seafarer. And he was, when the hurricane was going to hit Belize, at that point, we didn't have the media that we have today. So they knew that it was coming. At least some people knew. He was caught in Belize City and was ordered at the port not to leave the port. But he knew that his village did not have a lot of supplies to survive if they were going to be hit. And that drive of saying, I need to go and see what will happen with my community and what will happen with my people, and I need to ensure that they at least have some food, that's what drove him to take on the voyage. He escaped from the port. The hurricane winds were already, the rain was already hitting. He managed to make it to Key Carker, And then after the hurricane, he managed to reach Userteneja, to a totally desolate place. And in fact, what he described was very heartbreaking. He was saying that the village was totally cleared out. He was seeing houses just floating, animals floating. You know, it was complete disaster for him. And when he reached there, the community was in one building, and even the building had received some damage and had received some water into the building. So the community was at a high risk. And he brought in some food, and coincidentally, by the time he reached, some of the food supplies were already going down. So that story in itself, of that community love, of taking a hurricane serious, of the magnitude of damage that a hurricane can cause, I think is very deep, primarily because we know that this is an occurrence that can happen again, and it's been happening. Every year we have a danger of a hurricane, and if we are not responsible enough of taking the precautions and also taking the leadership, and I want to big up all the people that have volunteered throughout this hurricane that we just went through. Nemo, that's leadership, that's community love. You're out there risking your life, risking the safety of your family, because you care for your community and you care for the most vulnerable of your community. So this story of Jorge Verde, in essence, that he tells how Sarteneja came to be, and eventually tells how it was rebuilt. But from that angle of saying it's all about love, that love for your community, which is the love for a nation that everybody should have. To say, I'm going to take a risk because I love everything that makes me me. Because in Italy, Belize is our community and it makes us.
Yes, Delmer, thank you so much for giving us that quick synopsis of what the story is about. It's definitely a catching story, so we encourage folks to go ahead and grab a copy of this book. So in that regard, how can we get access to this book? Where can we make the purchases and dive into and connect deeper with Sarteneja? Delmer?
I thought it was for Carolee. Sorry.
Carolee, can you?
Anyone can take it. Just, we want to know where we can get
How can we get a copy of this?
Yeah, well, it is available online at dajiltan.org, but it is also available at Image Factory. So if you want a physical copy, you can get it from there. But it's also available for free online. And really, the point of the project is also to bring history to the hands of everybody. You know, this is public history. It's about sharing knowledge, is about sharing information, but in a very open way. So again, if you prefer a printed copy, if you prefer an online copy, it's there. Of course, the printed copy will come at a cost. The printing really is what we're charging for, not necessarily for the work, but it's there, it's available.
And what is the cost for the printed copy?
I think Ms. Verde would be best to answer that question.
Carolee, what's the cost for the printed copy?
Okay.
I think
we missed it.
We did not hear you for that second. You're muted still.
I realized that.
It's okay.
The cost is $10, and it's. I'd like to explain a little bit about that. You know, any normal piece of paper out there is just paper, and after you finished, after like 2 seconds, it's trash, literally, because you put it away and it becomes trash. So when we charge a printing fees, because we want you to value what it is, and if you just put it away, it's trash. But if you put it in a shelf, you read it, use it as a literary device, you share it, you use it as history, as you know, then that means that you're going to value it, right? And so the cost gives it value. It's not that we're trying to charge you, because this is the whole idea about this book, is to share cultural pride. So it's for everyone. It's available online, and it's free. But for the printing and to give it that value, then it's just at $10.
And I think $10 is super affordable, super, like, you know, just easy for people to be able to spare and to share something so incredible, that history, just understanding, you know, back in the days, how it was, you know, we take things for granted, because, you know, with Hurricane Lisa, that was something when Delmer was talking about, you know, that communication barrier where knowing that a hurricane will come, people never know as much. Like, no, like, it is cross the line. You see everybody to talk about it on news. You talk to the Met Service, you talk to all these people. But back in the day, it wasn't like this. And I think it gives you different perspective and appreciation, and also the hope that, you know, things get better over time, and how it takes it as us, as community builders, to make the change in our community. That's, you know, what your father represents to as well, you know, that hope that, you know, people are the change agents. We can't look at anybody else but look at yourself and say, what can you bring to your community? I think that's something I really hope young people get from this. But thank you so much for the dynamic work. Thank you for making sure, you know, your father is, you know, stories told, and people can understand history and hold that and get to know certain in a different light that maybe some of them weren't able to know, because, you know, not everybody's been there. Not everybody really knows about even Hurricane Janet, because I never banned it.
I mean, for somebody that loves Sartaneja, like me, you know, I definitely look forward to reading this. It's gonna make me appreciate the space a lot better. So thank you so much for all the work and the energy that you put into this book. We encourage everybody to go and get a copy. It's $10 a physical copy, or free online. So by all means, please go and enjoy. And we thank you both for joining us today to give us this excitement into this book. Hope in Sartaneja, The Adventures of Jorge Verde.
You can get it at Image Factory for $10. You can get it online. Can you please repeat where you can get it online?
Tajiltan.org.
Warren?
I don't know how to say that one. Tajiltan.org. Tajiltan.org. If you say it over and over, you get it, guys. You get it.
You might need to spell it.
Yes, I was just going to ask, can you use it in a sentence? I'm joking. Can you spell it, please?
Dajaltan.
All right.
All right, okay. So thank you so much for that spelling, guys. You can get it online free, or you can get it in person for $10. But it's very beautiful. I can see already the imagery is amazing. You can tell that story. The mural that, you know, Carolee has behind her, that's like one of the imageries that people can be able to get from it. So come on, support Belizean local authors. That's how we can get stories across and just support each other in general.
Right, so it's time for us to wrap up today's show.
Yes, we're at the ending of the show. We're wrapping up. Guys, it's been a beautiful Monday filled with a lot of lessons and a lot of blessings when it comes to, you know, great books that are out there. Make sure you get your copy of Hope in Sartaneja, The Adventures of Jorge Verde, that's out right now, as well as knowing that, you know, Cellular World is having their deals as well, if you can be able to afford it, and they're trying to make it as affordable as possible with the different discounts. Try to see how you can be able to, you know, grab that device that you need, that you urgently need, because we need resources either way, like tablets and stuff for kids. Think about that for your home, the mouses, the computers, and everything there. I know for people, having a laptop is a very vital component for go out and do work. We know this, Kev, too much, right? So, like, if you can be able to afford it and try the best to get it, by all means, get these things and access these resources. And of course, we were speaking with Ian Jones today on his platform and what he plans to do for Colette. So it was great conversations today. We hope you enjoyed it. How you feeling, Kev?
I'm good. I really want to take on the energy from Delmer and also from Juan Burgos from Cellular World. It's in regards to it's Monday. It gives us the opportunity to start fresh, start a new day. I mean, start every day as if it is a Monday, but it's a Monday nevertheless. So let's make the best of it. We wish you all the best today, all the best on your start of the week. And remind you, you got this. Everything is going to work out in one way or another. And we love you so much, and we thank you for joining us today on Sun Up on 7.
And if nothing else fails, make sure you drink your water and mind your own business.
Stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated out in these streets, guys.
Stay hydrated.
Yeah, we don't want to be dusty. So with that, guys, take care, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for another dynamic show. Take care, darlings. Cheerio.
Bye, everyone.
A place to call your home. A place where you can grow. Stand by me and we'll take flight. We'll be there at morning's light. I've got you covered on all concerns we share today. You will discover how the world turns each day. When the sun comes up